Idemo, Nuggetsi!
We're here with the Joker up, preparing his body, does his workouts before every game.
His job as a strength and conditioning coach is to look at all of our players and to figure out what can they do better, what are their strengths, what are their weaknesses.
Yo, it's Arnold Schwarzenegger, drama.
You mentioned Nikola Jokic, great example, because after his first summer league over here, quickly realized that his body wasn't where it needed to be. He committed to being in the gym, changing his diet. Steve Hess got him on a right plan, nutrition-wise, and he loses 30 pounds, which is remarkable.
So we've learned that you've lost almost 30 pounds since you've been with the team. What does this guy mean to you?
Nothing to me, but he helped me a lot just to make me adapt myself in NBA.
And Coach told us earlier that you love soda and sugary foods. How different is your diet now ever since he's come in?
I took my last soda at airplane to America a year and a half ago.
Wow.
Yeah.
Here we go, Joker's finishing off his exercise right now. He got a little Rocky going on. We inspired him. Now he's gonna get it right. Yo, my man Austin, great job today.
Looking good. Thank you.
You killed it. My man, the Joker, the greatest of all times. We're packing up and we're leaving. Catch you later.
Hello and welcome to the newest episode of the Nuggets Srbija podcast. Today we have, for me, the most special guest we ever had, and probably that we ever will. So we have Nuggets legend, 20 years tenured strength and conditioning coach, fitness enthusiast, and motivational machine. It's Steve Hess. Welcome, Steve.
What's up, my dudes? Listen, so appreciate you guys having me on your show. Whatever question you guys want to ask, go ahead. We're about to blow shit up.
Yes.
Let's go.
Hello, everybody. So, two other guys here. We have Voja, originally from Serbia, but now in Lincoln, Nebraska.
Hey, everybody. How's it going? Good morning.
And Mislav
morning, my
from
dude.
Slavonski Brod, Croatia. I'm sure we have our regular listeners from Serbia, but I hope we'll have a lot of more old Nuggets fans from all over the world. So, let's start. Steve, how are you doing? Did you do your 3-hour workout before the show?
Hell yeah, we were up at 3 o'clock, got a good workout in, replenished my glycogen stores, ready to roll. I just want you guys to know, when I visited Croatia and Serbia, your country is beautiful. People amazing. Food is off the hook. It was tough for my son and I to leave, but we had to get home. But you guys have an amazing country. I love it. So thank you for having us.
We hope we'll have you back when the corona situation gets better.
Yeah.
So,
Absolutely, but we're going to have to see after the podcast. I may be banned from your podcast.
Oh no. you got the Mount Rushmore spot for the guest appearances.
So first of all, like, how is the situation in Colorado? Are the gyms open?
So my facility, Panorama Wellness and Sports Institute, have done an amazing job for concept. We've been able to stay within the COVID guidelines, keeping everyone safe. And because of the fact that we're a performance facility, we're not a gym, optimizing performance for life, we were able to open appropriately with the correct numbers. And it's been getting better and better. The people have been unbelievably understanding. Coaches have been phenomenal. And I think we've been a huge asset in creating some positivity in what has been an incredibly challenging times for not only my staff and the people in Colorado, but the entire world. And I do feel like we're at the forefront of helping, as opposed to sinking into the fact that we just got to accept it. So we've been blessed and we keep moving forward.
Good to hear. Yeah, of course, we need to work out to stay healthy in our bodies and in our minds, even in those times. So let's start from the beginning. You were born in South Africa, So how would you say comparison between living in South Africa and in USA?
So here's the thing. You're in Srbija. Come to Denver, Colorado, and take a look. You'll be like, holy shit, are you kidding me? Every country I've lived in is totally different. So I was born in Johannesburg. Then I lived in Zimbabwe. Then I lived in London. Then upstate New York, where I went to college. Then Colorado. Then back to New York. So every time I go to another country or another state, it's all different. The cultural differences coming from South Africa, London, to the States, ridiculously different. I didn't even know how basketball was played, but I think it gave me a huge asset to look at issues out of a fresh set of eyes. So I got my undergraduate degree in cardiac rehabilitation, my master's degree in sports medicine. I have some really amazing certifications, and everything I do is to question everything I think about the athletes I work with. So I keep evolving, looking for different ways. But here's the amazing thing. In every country, you have different thought process. So the premise of how strength and conditioning was built in the States is based on football. In South Africa, it's based on rugby. In London, based on rugby. These are different thought process. But if you have an idea and you're able to obtain knowledge from all these different places, you're blessed, because then when you look at your program, it's a new, fresh set of eyes. And that's why I'm so blessed in my upbringing. And the other thing too, man, oh my gosh, from a little guy, 6 years old, I always wanted to work with professional athletes. The one thing about South Africa, again, I was a terrible high school student. Once I got to university, I applied to, I applied to 22 universities. One accepted me. The rest were like, hell no. And once I had that opening, and because of my upbringing, I'm like, I'm done playing. So I poured everything I had into understanding the human body, the mechanics, how it works, how to utilize prehab, rehab, recovery, nutrition, hydration, and put it all together. And I owe that largely to the people around me, but also my upbringing. I have an amazingly diverse upbringing, which I'm so blessed for.
Great.
Yeah, that's the important part, like the perspectives of different cultures and different, that's why diversity now is like a big question in US, and that's why it's important, and it's a cool story. You're right, like everyone, in Srbija is like, the soccer and basketball, and you have water polo styles, and it's different conditioning and strength like approaches to like other sports based on what the popular sport is too. Like I think that's what what you're right about.
Yeah. You answered for my five next questions all at once. So thank you. You saved us a lot of time.
Oh, keep rolling.
No, it's good, because we will have more time to speak about Corey Brewer, the Birdman, and other my favorite nuggets. So, we have Brendan. Hi, Brendan. So how was it for you to move your life from South Africa to New York? Because I read that you didn't even own the winter jacket. And how did you end up from South Africa to living in the Rocky Mountains?
Okay, so here's the deal. So when I finished my high school career in South Africa, I was at home, and my father said, let's go get your exam results. So now this is a long time ago, but when you graduated high school, you either have a fail, a pass, or a university pass. And I knew without a doubt, there's no way I got a university pass. So I said to my dad, go get my results. And it's not like today where you get an email. Nah, hell no. You got to go to the school and they give you a piece of paper. Pass, failed, university pass. My dad rolls back an hour later, says, my guy, you got a university pass. I'm like, shut the hell up. He's like, Steve, I swear. I'm like, Dad, that's the wrong test. That's the wrong person. That ain't me. There's no way I go to you. He's like, Steven, here it is. I'm like, yo, call the school. It's impossible. So I'm like, holy shit, I got a university pass. But my university pass was with the worst grades you could get it, but I still got it. But now I'm rejuvenated. I'm like, hell yeah, I'll be the next president. I didn't study. I applied to all these schools. And I know when they got my application, they started laughing like, hell no, we're not taking him. Ithaca College said, look, we'll take you for 1 year. And they had an unbelievable exercise science department, but you have to maintain a 3.6 grade point average, and you have to redo your SATs.
So I'm like, hell, I'm in. I'm good. I'm going to make sure I do that. So I went to London for my first semester, did my first semester over there, then transferred to Ithaca, New York. Now, again, listen to me. I don't even know. We have the internet. But I didn't even know what the school looked like. So I went in December, middle of summer. I was on the beach in Cape Town. I'm rocking a tan, colored backpack. I'm 18 years old. I'm the shit. I rolled into Ithaca, New York, and I was excuse my language. I'm like, what the fuck is this? It's 47 degrees below freezing. Like, I'm like, then the apartment I'm staying at, I'm like, this shit looked like a treehouse. And I'm coming from Africa. I'm like, I'm going to die. My dad starts laughing. He says, my God, I'm going to see you in 3 months. I'm like, roommate was a music major. I'm in sports. We didn't speak for 3 weeks. Yo, my first year, listen, we'd have soccer practice. So as a walk-on, we'd have to train 11 o'clock at night. Then I'd have to walk back in the snow. I get home, I'll be like, I'm going to die. I have frostbite everywhere. But I got accustomed to it. Again, but you're right with the jackets. So eventually, like, I went to like a Target, and I got like 6 jackets. I would go to class. By the time I was finished taking my shit off, class was over. So it was like I had no clue what was going on. But that being said, I had this like revolution. It's like, here's the thing. A lot of times we see the end picture. But here's what I'm telling you. Greatness is disguised in hard work. And at some point in your life, when you say, I am taking accountability for myself, I'm going to put it all on the line with everything I have, that's when you find yourself. And I honestly believe if you get college, I only had 8,000 students, laid the groundwork where I believed I could be successful in exactly what I wanted to do. And at that point, from the age of 19, I did all this shit when I was a kid. I'm blessed that I'm still alive. But from the age of 19, I'm like, now I'm locked in. And I locked in. I said, I'm getting this degree. I'm getting a master's degree, doing research, probably get a PhD. But I was put on this earth with a purpose. I was put on the earth to make people better. I don't care if you're a 97-year-old with 8 discs replaced, or if you're Nikola Jokic or Jamal Murray or Melo or AI, doesn't matter. You're just people. And I have a job in life to help people get better. That's my calling.
Amazing. I still can't believe that when kids are like 6 years old, they want to be like football players, soccer players, basketball players. When you were 6, you wanted to be a strength conditioning coach. So I can't believe that kids have those dreams, but you fulfilled your dream. It's amazing.
So here were the 2 dreams, and I got them both. First dream, wanted to be a strength coach. The second dream, one day, I wanted to wake up, go to my closet, open it up, and have 100 pair of sneakers. I've reached my 2 dreams. I'm good, man. I'm good.
Hell yeah.
You're done. You can just retire.
No retirement. Always pushing forward, right?
Of course. So let's skip to the part. So you came to Boulder, Colorado, and then you stayed in Colorado. And how did the Nuggets recruit you?
All right, so I finished my undergraduate degree. Then you have 1 year to work in a related field. And Ithaca College offered me a master's degree where I'd be the assistant for exercise physiology, and they would pay for my master's degree. But I had a year that I wanted to work in the field. So I met a girl my senior year of my undergraduate degree. And I'm like, I'm going to marry her. My dad's like, my guy, you've known her for 3 days. You may want to take a breath, but that's just me. So I went to London. I said, nah, I'm going back to Boulder to be with my future wife. Once again, my father's like, my guy, you're on crack. Don't do that shit. I'm like, no, I'm doing it. I flew to Texas, I bought a car, drove to Boulder. Fellas, listen to me. I didn't even know there were mountains in Boulder. I arrived at 3 a.m. Next morning, I wake up. I'm like, holy shit. It's beautiful. I have no job. I'm living with my girlfriend. It's nowhere to live, no money, but I got a car. So I'm like, here's what I'm going to do. I'm going to drive down to Denver, get a job. The next day, drove down to Denver, go to this club called the Athletic Club at Denver Place, which I would own 20 years later and which I would meet my wife in. Rocking there, finagling my way. I had a job 3 hours later in Denver, Colorado. 2 weeks with my new wife, she kicked me out. She like, you suck, I'm out. So I'm like, okay, not going back. I'm staying here because that's just what I do. So I lived on an apartment in the worst part of town. 3-stair walk up, no elevator. There was a drugstore on the one side, liquor store, and 2 discos. This place was, but I loved it. Went to work every day, met my wife there, grinded every day. 20 years later, as I say, I worked for the Nuggets and owned the gym, which was Forza. So again, here's the thing now. Listen, didn't have a clue, didn't know anyone, had nobody, had no job. Stuck it out because I know what I want to do and I'm passionate about that. Was there 1 year, met my now wife, went back to Ithaca College. We go to Ithaca. She says to me, where are we going to stay? I'm like, I don't know. She's like, Steven, we have a U-Haul. I have no idea where we stay, but we locked it in. Then left Ithaca, came back to Colorado, moved into Denver. Again, didn't have a job planned up. But again, I'm doing what I want to do. 4 days later, had a job, worked 100-hour weeks. Then I worked at the athletic club called Greenwood. And the general manager for the Denver Nuggets approaches me and says, I want to hire someone to work part-time for us and work part-time for you. I'm like, hell no, I'm getting the job. So my wife says to me, my guy, you know nothing about basketball. I'm like, easy. Go to the store, get me this book. It's Basketball for the Dummies 101. She got me the book. Now I'm reading through the book. I didn't even know where the free throw line was. I'm reading through the book. I'm watching videos. I called this dude, Alan Bristow, the general manager, Bill Hansick, the coach, and Jim Gillen, the athletic trainer, every single day for 3 months, sometimes 3 days. Eventually, Jim Gillen said, man, just take the fucking job. Take the job. So I rocked that job in, and then I was there for 1 year, went from part-time to full-time. I am the first full-time strength coach the Denver Nuggets ever had. And I went after 5 years to be an assistant coach, after 12 years to be director of performance. Best organization, best people, best experience. Just so blessed to have it part of my life.
That's amazing. And you didn't lie to your dad. You said you were going to go to Colorado to be with your wife. Like it worked out well.
I did. She's no longer. You're 100% right. There we go. I spoke it into existence. Different lady, but still my wife. You're right.
Oh, yeah.
So before we start remembering our old Nuggets players, let's stop for a moment to learn something from you. So I loved your quote. I will paraphrase it. It was something like, when you wake up every day when you wake up in the morning, you have a choice to make yourself better or to make yourself worse. And you said, I choose to make myself better than yesterday. So can you tell us about your philosophy? How do you keep that high energy level? Is it because of the food you eat? Is it about the amount of exercise? Or it's mostly about your power of the will?
Great questions. Here's the thing. In life, we just have 2 options. Everyone thinks we have a multitude of options. We don't. Nothing stays in steady state. Nothing stays the same. So you're either moving forward or you're moving back. So to pull out of the complexity of the conversation, if you're walking to a tree with your dog, the dog's thinking 2 things. Want to see if I want to take a nap or take a pee. We're walking to the tree. My mortgage, my house, my car, my education, my job, all of that. And it overcomplicates everything we're about. But the dog is just looking to better himself, stay in shape, go eat, and then doing things. Sometimes I want to be more primal, more simplistic, and break it down into simple terms. Time does not matter except when you're in the moment. What happened previously has nothing to do with where you're at, unless you learn from it. And what happens in the future, you don't control. If I don't control the moments I'm in, I lose those moments. So my philosophy is perfectly stated by you. It's mental clarity. And here's why. I'm not always going to feel good. I'm not always going to get my meals in. My body's not always going to feel great. But I have the ability to coach my mind into always feeling great. So whatever life brings me, I have the choice of perception. So however hard it is, I can either see it as hard or easy, but it's all relative. So if you look at my hard right now, So I get up at 3:30 in the morning. Sometimes I work until 9 o'clock at night, and then I'll go lift. People will say that's crazy. And I'm like, really? What about someone who has nothing and has to work a 19-hour day in a cold, whatever it is, or drive in a FedEx van, or if you're on the front lines and you're saving lives? Those are real hard issues, and they see it as part of their life. How they perceive it either adds to the character or depletes from it. So what I'm saying is, we choose the situation. We're in it. We have to make the best of the situation. So what I look at, going back to myself, and that's all I can talk, is I am making every aspect of today great. So if I'm training you, or if I'm with my son, or if I'm doing a presentation, I want everything to get, it doesn't have to be perfect. I want it to get everything that I have at that time. That's all I can give it. So people will say, well, I don't feel good today. That's bullshit. Who feels good all the time? Well, my energy is low. It's bullshit. Who feels high energy all of the time? It's how you deal in shitty situations. And I judge myself largely in getting out of the worst situations and staying on top of my game. And here's why. It's not about me. It's about me helping others. So I have selfless gratitude by being able to work by others. So I can't stop and say, shit, I feel like shit, I'm not going to work. I have too many people reliant on me, which I'm so blessed for, because I really want to go help them. So I have purpose every minute of my day. I hate sleeping. I hate sleeping because I'm wasting time. Now people say you should recover. I'm like, yeah, but I want to change the world. I want to create, you know how it is on Christmas Day? Everyone's boys. Hey, how you doing? Oh yeah, take my parking spot. Cut me off, we good. Here's my sandwich. I want every day like Christmas Day. We're in abundance. Let's give and share as opposed to holding. We all hold on so tight. None of that shit matters. It's just the giving. So if I can say, okay, I have a goal, I'm about to give. I am not going to look to how I feel. I know how I feel. I'm unbelievable. My spirit is unbelievable. That's what I'm going on. I don't care if I just threw up the whole day.
That's amazing. Like we are getting free consultation, not just like for strength and conditioning, but for life, like how to go through life with all your challenges and like problems. As you said, like nobody is on high energy all the time. You just need to fight through it, and then you will get the job done, either for you or for others. So
yeah, especially in this time, like people needed to hear what you said. Like it's amazing. Like I want to run through a wall now. Like high motivation.
So I'm going to tell you guys. I'm going to put it in Nikola Jokic terms. The simple fact that makes him great. It's simple. It's an undying love for basketball. Nikola Jokic is an authentic human being who has a huge passion for basketball, but he is amazing to other people. He is humble. He is hungry. He works his ass off. But what makes him great is he's true. There's no fake to this man. He's truly about the game of basketball. He is a revolutionary in his process. He made it through the love of the game. I mean, you can give him 400 million. It don't matter. It's family. It's basketball. It's taking care of the people around him. He is an ethically upstanding, unbelievable human being. Now, here's the other thing. Professional athletes die two deaths. It's tough. One when you die, one when you retire, because you go from being the dude to not being the dude. Unbelievably tough. And I've seen it. I've been around it, okay? Nikola Jokic won't. He is so unbelievably blessed to be happy about life. It doesn't matter what goes on. You will always have that from him. That's what makes the ultimate superstar, the ultimate human being, and again, the ultimate member of our society. Unbelievable human being.
And it's a great intro. Sorry, I missed that. Like, quick, I gotta jump into Jokic questions, like, because I'm one of the new wave of Nuggets fans, and you know, when we came in with Jokic, so I'll ask you, like, when you first met him, like, what did you think about? And then you said with the journey so far, their love of basketball, like, how do you like look at him now as an MVP candidate and how he started? Like, I mean, obviously that basketball love changed, like, but everything outside of it, does, like, are you proud of your influence on him, like, because you worked with him in the early beginning when it was breaking for him, I guess.
No, I'm not proud of anything I've done. I'm proud of everything he's done.
Oh, that's what I mean. Yeah, that's right.
Yeah, I got nothing. I'm going to tell you, when he was a rookie and we were at a players training camp, Jameer Nelson has something in Philadelphia, and he organized this paintball game. And I had Wilson Chandler and Jokic on my paintball team. Jokic is a stone cold killer. This dude we won every game. The dude was like, I'm like watching it. He like an assassin. He diving in the bush. An assassin, taking care of the team. Listen to every concept we had. Jameer can come on and lie and say they didn't get one game. We smashed them, and we had the shittiest guns. They had all the best. We killed him. I called him my GM, Tim Conley. I'm like, yo, my guy, this dude is gonna be special. So Tim's like, you see him play? I'm like, hell no. Just the way he played paintball. I'm like, there it is, man. He about the team, right reasons, works hard, and from that moment on, as I say, one of the best people I've ever seen in my life. Always locked in, no shortcuts, always about getting better. But the most amazing thing I've ever seen, and like I picture myself all the time. No ego. Yo, listen to me. No freaking ego. I wish I was more like him. He's just an authentic, hardworking, loving human being with very little ego. Now you got to have some, but he's just different. The dude is different, and I'm so blessed to meet him, his family, still have conversations with him, because I really think the cat is savant. I love him.
Have you ever seen that kind of person being a star player in the league, or like role player even?
So I'm going to tell you something. So here's what I am. I'm atomic energy. Two things are going to happen. Lights are going to go on, or I'm going to blow shit up. That's just how I am. Like sometimes I'm like, I can't even live in my own head, because I feel like my eyes are like, okay, what am I going to do next? When I walk into my house, my dog's like, dude, chill out. So you got to understand, my swag is like high athleticism, run through walls. Now here's my thing. Jokic has showed me another way. He showed me a way like in calmness, love of the game, seeing the whole game through my peripheral vision, being a pass-first center, being able to take the shot but integrate everyone else, going to the coach in tough situations, say, you can start this guy over me. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? He knows he's always going to be taken care of, because here's why. He's not motivated by anything he doesn't love. He loves basketball. He's not motivated by being in movies. He's not motivated by making money. He's not motivating. He's got an unbelievable family life. He just wants to be a better basketball player. So when's the last time you woke up and said, I single-mindedly just want to do this? Never. We're like, I've got to pay for my car payment. Damn, my wife's on my ass. Son's being a baby. I decide whatever. We never like, but he locks in, and he's doing what he loves because he loves to do it. So I'm like looking at this cat. So I trained another guy, Tim Howard. He's a goalie, one of the greatest goalies ever. And he wrote on my wall, the more you have, the more you want. And I believe that for me, 100%. I don't believe it for Jokic. I think whatever he has is always going to be enough. So I think he's far more evolved in the head than I could ever be. I really do believe that. I believe if you gave Jokic just the ability to do what he does with or without money, he may take money, it's not what I'm saying, but it wouldn't change. I believe he's intrinsically motivated. He is not extrinsically motivated. So everything that makes him happy, he can attain. If you are extrinsically motivated, it's never enough. I believe with him, it's always going to be enough. It's an amazing thought process.
That's it. Yeah, that is. I mean, I have no words, honestly. Like I'm done with Jokic questions. Honestly, this is like the best we could have done. Because again, like we were talking to Serbian people. Like this is what you love to hear. Like you want to always be happy with with yourself and that mindset. I mean, that's what it explains so much about how he's doing what he's doing in the NBA. Like it's amazing. It's what we suspected, but like hearing it from someone that worked with him, like. It's just so awesome to hear. Like Miroslav, just take over. Like
I have so many questions.
So when I come to Sombor, Firstly, I walk in a time warp. Everything's slowed down. The most beautiful city I've seen. I'm training with Jokic and all the fellas in the parks, throwing tires, hammering all of that. But you want to hear something really weird? Then we go to the pub at night and everyone's there as a family. That's how he is in the NBA, my guys. He don't dress any differently. He don't act any differently. Jokic is Jokic 24/7. I've been in this business 32 years. I've trained thousands of athletes. In my entire life, I've only seen two people like Nikola Jokic. One is a master. This dude is incredible. His name's Mr. Van. I've known him now 16 years. He's the only person that at any point in the day, he's consistent within his personality. The only other one I've seen, now obviously they're ups and downs, and it's within a realm, there's upper or down, if that makes sense. But who are truly them 24/7 is Nikola Jokic. And the other thing is, you guys have done an amazing job of loving him for who he is. That being said, him and his brothers, those are my people. I will do anything for them at any point forever because they're loyal, ethical, wonderful human beings.
So how did the flipping tires from the tractors, how did that started as a workout?
So I'm just going back to my personal philosophy. I have an exact concept with every single person I work with. So in regards of how it fit into the system, the premise behind Nikola Jokic was we want to create a much stronger base. We want to make sure his nutrient density was changed so he could lose body fat, but we wanted to make him strong from the core and more powerful within the realm of what he had. And that's my thought process through everything. So someone will say, so why did you go to tires? Tires came to me. I didn't seek out the exercise of flipping tires. In the realm of what we are trading at that concept, it was an available tool to use. I'm so incredibly blessed to have so many amazing people around me my entire life. I have a really amazing toolbox, and I open it up and I have like lines of tools that I'm able to facilitate. If I lose my ego and make sure it's just about the player, I'm able to do that successfully. So when you ask me why the tires, it was part of our programming. Nicola's never been hurt. I think he's done an amazing job from creating an amazing base. I believe he always listened. I believe he learned. I believe the team around him from the Denver Nuggets organization has been amazing from day one. But ultimately, I give 100% all of the credit to Nikola and his family for taking in the information, utilizing, and staying consistent. So they get all the credits.
And as far as that, like you talked about the tools and being involved in the, with their family when somber. I've come to know from strength and conditioning, it's important to trust, especially in that aspect, to trust the coach in that way. Like, how do you build rapport with the guy like Jokic and for him to trust you? Because I think with him, trust is a big thing for him to buy in completely. So how do you as a coach, not just with him, just with any player, how do you build the trust that they will listen and trust your process, that you'll get him to a place where they need to be?
You know what?
That's an amazing question, but I kind of feel like it's overplayed, and to a certain degree, it's kind of bullshit. Because I think in today's age, we feel like we have to build trust. Building trust is not the primary objective.
Okay,
Being who you are and helping the player is a primary objective. The outcome of it is a trust issue. So I don't go to train Nikola Jokic so he trusts me. I go to train Nikola Jokic so he can be the best he can be. And I'm hopeful with me being adaptive and creative, he trusts me for what I'm trying to do for him. But I'm not saying, trust me so you do what I want you to do. I'm saying, trust me because the shit I do works for you. Yeah. So I kind of feel like we want this exact script. How do I be a successful strength coach? I'll give you the answers, easy. To be a successful strength coach, you have to be authentic in the brand you're pushing. You have to live it. The second thing is you have to do it for the love of it. And the third thing, understand it's not about you. It's about the people you work with. That'll give you an opportunity to be the best strength coach. That'll be the opportunity for players to trust you. You are working to help these young men If you're authentic, if you're passionate, they will see it. If your goal is to get them to trust you, if your goal is to post videos on Instagram, if your goal is to look exciting, you're in the wrong field. Become an actor. And I love actors. But what I'm saying is, what intrinsically drives you? Do you stay up nights thinking, how do I make 100 million? Or do you stay up nights saying, how do I get the big toe of this individual I'm working with to work? I think about the big toe at night.
Yep.
So about building the trust, like I remember how you were running in the morning with Carmelo Anthony. Like, does it help when you do stuff with your players along with them? You know, not just tell them go run, but you go and do the mile with them.
Absolutely. So here's the thing. Again, this is an amazing podcast. I'm keeping it 1,000% real. Back in my days, like in the Melo days, and even before then, when I first came on, all the warm-ups, which I know now call PTP, I would do it all with the guys. I would run Red Rocks, Manitou Springs. But then as I got more and more mature, I'm like, I'm going to choose carefully. So even now, I love it with these young strength coaches. And here's the thing. Some of the strength coaches I'm working with today, oh my God, they're amazing. Their mechanics, the way they move, I'm like, holy shit, I've never looked like that. So they will demonstrate specific things. There's specific things I won't demonstrate. And I have specific goals. So I just had an NBA player working with me over the All-Star break. And he's like, man, I love the evolution. And I'm like, what evolution? Before you would show everything and you were so into doing it, you wouldn't sit back and really teach. Now I feel like you're really teaching. So I feel as I mature, I spend more time helping my athletes understand what I'm asking of them, as opposed for me to just telling them and them just repeating it. So it's like, I feel like as I progress, I'm going away from catching fish for them to teaching them how to fish more appropriately. So I feel I'm becoming a better and better strength and conditioning coach in that realm. But look, I love it. So if I say to a dude, be there at 4 a.m., I'm there at 3:50. If I'm there, like eat a certain way, I eat that certain way. Generally speaking, there's not much I'm going to ask you to do that I haven't done. Now, am I going to do a 600-pound dead? I have no need to. And the other thing that I love about my thought process, I don't compete with my guys. This ain't about me showing out. It is about me getting guys better. So I will do the best that I can, but I'm second. If I'm training someone, this shit has got nothing to do with me. And I think a lot of times when you participate with your athletes, you're losing the vision of watching through the joints, watching everything they do. And then it becomes a little bit competitive. Now you're competing with them. Now, is that good sometimes? Yeah. All the time? No. So you got to draw that fine line.
So what's the thing that you remember the most about Carmelo, especially about his early time in Denver? Early years.
So let me tell you about, firstly, Carmelo Anthony and George Cole and the Cronkies, to be honest, put the Denver Nuggets on the map. Now, when we were rolling and we went to the Western Conference Final back in the day with Kenyon, Melo, then we were bad to the bone. We were straight up. We were the Thuggets. I loved it. I loved every aspect of it. Here's what I love about Melo. We're playing actually the Lakers in the Western Conference Finals. Guy throws up, comes to the arena, still scores 40 points. As a rookie, he took us to the playoffs. The first time in 12 years we'd been to the playoffs. It didn't matter. People don't understand how tough this man was. When we went to the Western Conference Finals, he had issues with his right elbow. I'm not even saying miss a game. The cat never missed a practice. Then the things that amazed me about him, as he evolved, he got way more serious about taking care of his body. People do not understand how mentally and physically tough this man is. Just like his third year, myself and Gerg's teaching him how to play out of the triple team. And Gerg's would be like, put a body on him. Listen, man, the guy hit me in the chest. I thought my sternum freaking exploded. I mean, this was like This is one of the strongest, most athletic guys in a different way. So one of our coaches way back, Melvin Hunt, said to me, Stephen, you can have athletic swag. It doesn't all have to be Russell Westbrook. Melo's that athletic swag, good first 3 steps, explosive when he needs to be, just an amazing guy for what he does. But don't get dissuaded. One of the toughest, most mentally strong individuals I have ever seen in my life. That man is a stone cold killer. And when it comes to the realm of basketball, I don't know if I've ever seen better. That dude is a freaking beast. And here's the other thing too. Everyone's got opinions about players and this guy, this. And I was at a store and he walked right by me. I was intrinsically with this guy for 9 years. I am telling you 100%. If you are one of these people, he will do anything for you. Loyal. If I'm going into battle, I am taking Carmelo Anthony. 24/7, 365. Not even close. And he is a bad man. People don't realize that is a bad man.
I mean,
amazing to hear. So Carmelo is the reason I started to cheer for the Nuggets from 2004, something like that. He was on the cover of NBA Live 2005. So I'm happy to hear some stuff about my old Melo. But my favorite player all time from the Nuggets is the Birdman, Chris Andersen. What can you tell us about him?
Wow. Again, it goes back to, holy shit. Like, I really feel like I've had a blessing in my life because I've got to spend a lot of times with them. Chris Andersen, like as of last year, was still working with me. He is one of my friends for life. Like, if he calls me, he lives in Denver. If he wants anything, if he calls me, I'm going to hook him up. Just things like some of the stories I told you when he came out of the NBDL, first player to come out of the NBDL. He Vanderway scored that. This dude, I think he weighed 104 pounds soaking wet. He busted his ass. He put on 20 pounds in season, got more explosive. At the end of the season, again, this is I think my second year. I'm definitely not killing it financially. I go to my office, open up my desk, there's $1,000. I'm like, holy shit. It was from him. I found out a year later. This is a guy who's making no money. Things like, I reiterated the story. My little guy was like, hey, Dad, I got this Chris Andersen lunchbox. Can he sign it? So I'm like, hey, Chris, tomorrow will be Monday. I'll bring it in. Will you sign it? He's like, no problems. Hour later, rolls into my house to sign a lunchbox for my kids. If I need it, he's just an unbelievable human being. And people get into the hype of what could have been, what happened, what didn't. I'm just telling you, as a man, he is an unbelievable human being. He had a partially torn patella tendon that he spent the whole year playing on. Then rehabbed it. No noise. No one even knew. Then goes play for the Miami Heat and wins a ring. This is an amazing dude. And here's the thing about Chris. He's been told impossible 5 times. 5 times. And all 5 times he's proved everyone wrong. And I'm not talking about 1, 2, everyone wrong. No one's ever come back from a suspension by the NBA. He comes back. He was wrongly accused. He comes back. From the injury, he comes back. From the NBDL, he comes back. This dude is a stone. And here's why this dude is mentally nothing stopping him. And he'll keep I'll be like, listen to the guy. I am worried. I'll be back. I'm like, what the fuck are you talking about? No one even comes back from that. He's like, I am worried. That's the thing about him. And people are like this or that because they don't know their mentality. When's the last time you met someone who said, nothing will stop me? Never. Everyone's like, got a cold, we'll lay down. Big toe hurts. That ain't my dude. He gonna play with a partially torn patella the whole season and not say a word and freaking kill it. That's a bad man. These are guys like I saw one time he broke his back. Yo, my dude broke his back. The next day he wants to play. He can't even stand up. He wants to play. This is my guy, man. Oh, this shit hypes me too, man. That is my guy.
That's amazing.
Look, we would go, before games, he would do a big cup of coffee. He'd come into the weight room, couple of sets of cleans, couple of snatches. He would roll out. And if I wasn't hyped, screaming, he's like, man, I ain't dealing with this shit. Then he'd go kill it.
Amazing. I love it. That's why he is my favorite player ever. Even though people think it's Corey Brewer, but it's actually Chris Andersen. Corey Brewer is close there.
Corey Brewer, that's my guy too. Corey Brewer, like again, people are always got opinions of what it's like, what this guy like. I remember, and God bless him, and rest in peace. I have so much respect for this man, Kobe Bryant, just a different beast. But I remember, and I love my uncle and I love my cousin. They're having a conversation about Kobe Bryant, and my cousin's like, "Yeah, what an unbelievably upstanding guy." I'm like, but you don't know him. But from the interview, I'm like, okay, so you're judging your whole character reference on an interview. Stop. But that's what people do. So I'm going to set the record straight. Kobe Bryant is what he always professed to be. That man will stop at nothing to achieve greatness. And here's why. A deep-rooted belief backed up by hard work 24/7, 365. I just watched a video excerpt of him that got me so jacked up about getting up early. And the realm of it, he said, here's why I do it. It gives me more options. If I want to get another workout in, I can. Another meal in, I can. If I want to get another nap in, I can. He said, I've been doing this for so long. By the time the rest of the league felt like they'd have to catch me, I'm too far gone. They can work every summer for as long as they want. I never stop. They can't catch me. In my field, I want to be that guy. I'll be 96 years old, and I never stop learning. So I don't care who you are. You can try catch me, but you never will, because I never thought I had it. So I kept learning. I kept staying cutting edge and understanding there's no such thing as a guru. I keep evolving. But I evolve off knowledge from the past, future, and present. So a lot of times, somebody in our field will say, that's old-fashioned or that's garbage. And I'm like, hold on. That doesn't put you in a great light, because there are aspects of old-fashioned that still work. The same as everything new doesn't make it right. So if you're able to mesh those together within your thought process and think of the why, you will always be above everyone else. Kobe always thought of the why. That shit excites me.
Man, we covered, we had a question. It was just about all these other, with Kobe and everything. And you're just hitting every point that we kind of wanted to cover with just from that aspect. I mean, Mislav, just again, we can go to Corey Brewer now or ask some of the, for me, with Corey Brewer, I see his style of play, and I would be we joke with Mislav a lot with Corey Brewer and his love of it, because he always talks about him in every show just as a joke. But seeing his games now in the Nuggets team with Jokic, oh my God, those two guys combined, it would be amazing. So just
so here's the thing with Corey Brewer. So here's the thing. So this is what I'm going to say to you. You know what I love about Corey? Firstly, that's another bad man. And he went through shit where I'm like, if you guys only knew. But here's what I love about Corey. The dude's always fucking happy. He's always happy. Even if we lose 6, he's still happy. Nikola Jokic is always fucking happy, because that's intrinsically who they are. I see the Joker, I just want to hug him and smile. Corey Brewer's the same way. Those are the people I want to be around, because the glass is always half full. Now, the Nuggets, you got to understand, 9 preseason games, 82 regular season games, then you go to the playoffs. I mean, I'll give you another example, man. Listen, so going back to when George Cole was coaching, he calls a fucking practice on New Year's Day. Everyone's pissed. So I wear a Superman shirt. So George Cole says to me, do you think you're Superman? I'm like, nah. He says, look, firstly, I suck at basketball. So he says, if you make this 3-point shot, I'm canceling practice. Fellas, I shot this 3. Yo, listen to me. It didn't even touch the net. It just rained. The dudes lost their shit. They sprinted out of practice. Oh, boy, kids tweet this after running so hard out of practice. They went home in their uniforms because they scared George was going to call it back. And here's the thing. You saw that elated joy of these dudes. They were like kids. That's how Corey Brewer and Jokic live their lives. That goes back to my dog analogy. The dog's always happy because he simplistically sees life. He chooses to be happy. I walk the tree with all my issues. Am I going to be happy or am I going to be sad? I choose to be happy. Corey does. Jokic does. I want to be around those guys. I want to impact people so they are happy, so they understand, hell yeah, life's a grind. But what life isn't is dealing with shitty issues all the time. Life is about being happy. Dealing with shitty issues is a part of life. That's not life. That's not life.
I mean, who is not better after this podcast, like physically, mentally, emotionally, like, I don't know. I'm already feeling like better in all the situations in my life. So I'm very happy that you came to our show. So let's skip from happiness to high basketball IQ. And of course, the professor, Andre Miller. What do you remember about him? He never missed the game. He almost never missed the game.
So Andre Miller, firstly, the deceiving first three steps. Andre Miller is the old generation. So when you're talking about IQ, he sees the game differently. It slows down for him. Andre Miller is so singly focused in basketball. I honestly believe one of the best point guards ever, because he makes everyone better. Here's what you guys don't know about Andre Miller. Andre Miller had a full thickness rotator cuff tear and played the next night. I've done that. I was done. I was in the sling. I'm like, are you kidding me? And that shit is in his shooting arm. He is undoubtedly the toughest individual I have ever seen in the NBA. Didn't do the most unbelievable job of taking care of his body, but it's all about basketball. Once the popcorn was popping and the lights went on, Andre just had a different way of seeing the game. He had a different way of getting everyone else off. Andre had one singular goal. How do we win? It doesn't, and that's unbelievable. He's going to be like unbelievably selfless, like not you. I need to find a way to help this team win. And then he would interject into the team. He would do some stuff. These are going to be his passes. I mean, this cat is just he sees the game differently. Just an amazing human being. And as I said, so blessed to be around him as well. I'll give you a story about him as well. I got so many of these stories, my guys. So my guy, Rich was the head strength coach for the Clippers. So Andre had shoulder surgery. Like 4 months later, Rich calls me up. Yo, my guy, your boy Andre is playing 5-on-5 at our facility. And there's something wrong with his shoulder. I'm like, yeah, he's not even clear, but he is just hooping with those guys with one arm. But that's Andre, man. It's the same as I went to go visit him in Sacramento. Yo, listen, he had this beautiful house. I went to go training for 2 weeks. I rock in. I call him up, Andre, where you at? He's like, I'll be there in like an hour. The key's under the doormat. I'm like, my guy, how are you going to leave the key under the doormat in this huge, beautiful mansion? But he's just like, that's who he is. Just unbelievable. Just an unbelievable guy. So again, amazing pass first guard. Tough as shit. Sees the game differently. He's so singly locked in. He doesn't hear the white noise. That's really tough to do.
Yeah, sorry, go for it. Yeah.
The guy on the receiving end on most of his lobs was JaVale McGee. So maybe people wouldn't think that today after the Lakers finals, but before he was also one of my favorite players because I really liked him. The whole league, maybe not league, the casual fans and Shaq were bullying him with making fun of his silly mistakes. But he was really talented with his unique physical and athletic abilities, and he seemed like a really nice guy. So I'm very happy for him that he managed to get not 1, not 2, but 3 titles. And I really like him here, especially his first game. He came on a trade from Washington for Nene, and in his debut game, he made a game-winning dunk. And I still remember because he was above the rim and he waited until the ball goes down so he can dunk it. So it's not offensive interference. So that showed his basketball IQ. And even though everybody was making fun of him. Anyways, to make things short, what do you remember about McGee?
So here's the thing. Let me tell you about JaVale McGee. You hit it on the head. You see, that's the other thing too. When you spend time with these guys, you start understanding who they are. JaVale McGee is so incredibly smart. A lot of times, he doesn't have time to deal with some of the bullshit people bring to him. So people are under the misconception when they don't know how smart he actually is. His basketball IQ and what he studies is amazing. This is a smart man. The other thing about JaVale McGee, there are no smoke and mirrors. If you're his guy, you're his guy. And if you're not, you're not. But he's not going to play like you are. And people get offended that way. And they make some of the incorrect comments because they don't know the guy. So here's what I've learned. And JaVale's a perfect example. I couldn't wish more happiness to anyone than I do him because he deserves it. He busts his ass and he does it the right way. He takes shit and he doesn't respond because he's really, really smart in that respect. Here's what I'm going to tell you. And this is a lifelong lesson I've learned. Be very careful about taking people's opinions about other people because the opinions coming from someone who has a certain perspective and they're telling you about them. So they're talking shit about you too. What I will never do ever again is take someone's opinion on a player unless I meet him. Because 80% of the guys, Nick Van Exel doesn't lift. Well, he lifted with me every day for 2 years. You're going to have a problem with Allen Iverson. He won't do the speed and agility drills. Never missed a speed and agility rule and actually freaking killed everyone to the point I one day said to him, AI, you're one of the fastest athletes I've ever seen. And this man responded to me, one off, implying I am. Just things I learned from him. We're in Utah. I'm talking to Melo. I say, Melo, come over here, franchise. Let me stretch you out. AI says to me, hey, Steve, you ever won a game with just Melo? I'm like, nah. So how are you going to be the franchise? Isn't it 5 of us? Hell yeah. And the list goes on. This is a human being who broke his finger on his shooting hand and the next game played. So please, when people give me opinions, I'm going to tell you, shut the fuck up. I don't need to know opinions till I meet the individual. I don't even, now, injuries or other things, that's cool. But don't kill someone if you don't truly know. And if you've given everything you can to trying to get them to be better, then hit me with it. But if you've come from someone else's opinion, I don't want to hear it. Because every time I think that's the truth, then I meet the dude, ain't even close.
And
I get to say that. I apologize. Go ahead.
No, and that's that's really a tricky road. Like we're doing a podcast and we talk about these players and stuff, and it's really a fine line to tread of like even saying good things. Like we don't know ultimately anything, and so that's the problem with like media now is like you're trying to like push a story and get an opinion out, but then you don't know the full story yourself, and you can go over the edge like with Mislav was saying about Shaq. Like Shaq was making fun of JaVale without really knowing him, and that translates into pop culture, and it can go all the way down, and that's why we love here to like try to focus on the basketball and then get it to a point where we're not talking bullshit about anyone else that we don't know. It's like, and that's what you said, like you don't talk about someone else and without the proper facts and perspective.
Remember casual fans.
Firstly,
Go.
Say again?
You can speak.
You guys bring us on. Okay, can you hear me now, guys?
Yeah.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah, okay. So you guys bring guys on, not knowing the direction this is going to go. But I can see this is an authentic podcast. What I understand a lot of times, being in it, I would sit and do an interview for 40 minutes, and then 2 minutes at the end would be reported. But that wasn't even the premise of the interview. While being there, understanding the situation, then I'll read it the next day. I'm like, that's not even close. But even things like, but here's the thing. When we get the newspaper, we don't want to hear the good stories. We want to listen to the shit. And if you're out there and you're a broadcaster, if I was a broadcaster, I'd get fired. Because I'd be like, that dude's awesome. That guy's great. Oh, he's amazing. They're like, you're fired, Steve. So even I know Shaq. I don't kind of know Shaq. I love Shaq. One of the coolest human beings I've ever met. Always makes an effort to talk, just a great human being. I remember stuff with me and Nene. That's when he's with Phoenix. And Shaq's giving Nene shit, an unbelievable human being. But he's got a job. So he has to put some light on it. So that's a whole nother issue.
Yeah.
But that being said, when it comes to talking about an individual's character or work ethic or where they're going or habits, you got to have someone who spent a ton of time with them. And here's the weird shit about all of this. I can get a great feeling about someone's personality into how they work out. Are they on time? Are they able to push through the pain zone? Are they intelligent? Are they respectful? Are they humble? Are they willing to do what it takes? And I get this, but it takes a long time. So one of the greatest coaches, Tim Gergerich, he came to work for us for 5 months. He just hung with me. Steve, I just want to hang with you. He just spent 5 months hanging with me, understanding what goes on before he had an opinion. One of the best GMs we've ever had, Masai Uri, said, Steve, I need 4 months to just see what you're doing before I even have an opinion. Amazing. Amazing. He has swag. He has a persona, but he needs time to assess the situation. I love that. Before I have an opinion on anyone, I need time.
Yep.
That's
awesome.
why he became the GM of the year, and that's why he won the title. So before we let you go, I want to go through one more player. And in my opinion, on your Facebook stories and videos I think your favorite player in the Nuggets was the Italian stallion, Gallo, the rooster. You love to post videos with him.
I got to tell you, Gallo. That's my dude, man. Gallo is, he's just family. He's been through a lot with me in regards to his rehab. He's a loyal, authentic guy who works with me in the summertime. I love him. I love his family. I think they're very, very.
We lost you.
But, can you hear me now?
Yes.
Can you hear me?
Yep.
Yeah.
So I got so many wonderful stories about Gallo. Gallo is one of my best friends on the planet. It's so out of the realm of basketball. I ask him advice, and he's just an unbelievable human being. The brilliant thing about my experiences and what I've done, I have so many wonderful leaders in their fields as a part of my life that I can run things off and do things for. But Gallo is, like as I say, he's one of my best friends on the planet. So I absolutely have an affinity towards him and his family. Just an unbelievable human being.
So I want to finish with your thought on the season. I think it was 2012. So the Nuggets were playing without Melo, without Chauncey, after the big trade, and everybody thought the Nuggets would fall down without the star. But then they risen above, and they were the perfect example of the team basketball. So they didn't have a star; they have many little stars, and those were my favorite Nuggets time, 2012, 2013, something like that. And I remember, it was few games before the end of the season. We were playing against Dallas, and Gallo got injured. He injured his knee badly, and then all our dreams bursted. So I wanted to ask you first, how was it for the Nuggets after the Melo trade? How did they manage to find the inner strength and believe in themselves to make an amazing season, 57 wins, career record for the franchise? How did they manage to find that strength?
So Josh Kroenke and Masai did an unbelievable job of facilitating that trade. The guys came in. We were the running squad. George Cole was we ain't playing. We're just running. We went on a 15-game winning streak. By the fourth quarter, opposing teams had oxygen. They were done. We were so bad, and we would just run. We would run it into the fucking ground. George told me at some point, we're going 16 weeks, no days off. We were just locked in. And people don't realize it was that series where Gallo tore his knee and Madable had an ankle sprain that he's just coming back from. That's when we play the Golden State Warriors. And the weird thing about it, if my guy doesn't tear his groin, what's my guy's name? Played center. And then Draymond Green came in for him. David Lee. Draymond Green never comes on. The Warriors never turned into who they were. It just sucks that it was with us. That's when Iggy was with us, we were just bad to the bone, man. We didn't stop running. Total team ball. As I say, we go into that playoff game with, again, Gallo torn ACL. And then, as I say, that sprain on Manimal, we behind the 8 ball. But listen, we honestly didn't think we could lose at the Pepsi Center. If you came to the Pepsi Center, we use altitude to our advantage. We can't lose. It was weird because I spent all my time with the other guys, Melo, AI, Kenyon, Nene, Marcus Camby, all of those guys. And They were amazing, but a lot of times, it was different. Now we had these guys who buy to everything, so preparation was different. Everything was just different, and the guys all bought in. George called an unbelievable job coaching that team. We were just freaking, we'd tell other teams, call them up, you better bring your track shoes, man, because we're going to run you out of this gym. And that's what we did. We stuck to a system, and I think the guys killed it.
That's awesome. Yeah.
Steve, I can't thank you enough for coming. Like, you're such an inspiration, not just to hear all those nugget stories from the first hand, but also you as a person to motivate both of us and all of our listeners and everybody to just stick to the pain, like just go work out, go do what you love. Don't think about being tired or not feeling good to do this, to do that. So thank you for this. And there is so many more stuff that I would like to ask you, but we don't have time anymore. And I hope to see you again here. I don't know, in few months, 6 months, next year.
When we win the title, when the Nuggets win the title, we get you on the celebration podcast.
I love it. Oh yeah, I'm in.
So many stuff to talk. I hope we'll see you again here.
Yeah, thank you very much
for coming, and all the best.
You will see me again, my guys.
Idemo Nuggetsi, that's all right.
Thank you so much, my
Thank
guys.
you. Yep. Bye.
Nugget Srbija, YouTube, Facebook, Twitter, zvonce, stisnite, like, share, komentar, MySpace, na blogu, u novinama smo sutra, gledajte nas. To je to.